YTBC, what's the deal? So I've been watching some videos here on YouTube, and I ran into one video in particular. I'm not going to say the channel because it's not a beef, although I do respect this person's channel. They put in a lot of work on their channel. You can tell visually the work they put in just when you watch the videos. But he got into talking about, of course, Mayweather, and then he brung in Muhammad Ali. He went on to go on to say that Ali is a great fighter, one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. But he doesn't think that he compares to Floyd Mayweather, skill-wise, or when you look at their resumes. And he went on to say that Ali and Mayweather are similar in regards. He said that their braggadocio, the way they interact with people, the way that they've captivated the sport of boxing, he thinks that they're similar. And that's his opinion, and that's cool. He also went on to say that another similarity was both of these guys fought guys that came straight forward at them. Foreman, Liston, Frazier. He compared them to, you know, Maidana and Alvarez and Hatton. See, but the difference is, and I understand that's his opinion, but to me where the difference is when you start to say guys like Hatton is kind of like Frazier. Okay, maybe style-wise, you may see some resemblance of Frazier and Ricky Hatton, but or you may say that, you know, Foreman, when you watch Maidana, he has a little bit of George Foreman in him when he fought Mayweather. And I understand what you mean when you look at it with the eye test. But what you're overlooking is that Foreman is one of the greatest punchers in heavyweight history, along with being one of the greatest heavyweights, top 10 heavyweights in heavyweight history. Marcos Maidana is not one of the best welterweights in welterweight history. He's not one of the hardest punchers in welterweight history. He's just one of the top guys at the moment right now. So when Ali was fighting Foreman and fighting Liston and fighting Frazier, he was fighting guys that were looked at as some of the top 10 heavyweights of all time when he took on those guys. It wasn't so much that he was an underdog. He was an underdog against guys that were looked at in a historical manner. Maidana was not looked at like that. Only guy that Mayweather has fought is looked at in that light. If you want to throw maybe De La Hoya in there, you could say Pacquiao. But nobody's looking at Marcos Maidana like that. Canelo right now is a little bit too early. Cotto you may can throw in there. If anything, you could say Cotto's more comparable to a Frazier. You know, but then we keep mulling over the fact that he was an underdog. Ali was an underdog in the Foreman fight, the Liston, the Frazier, the Holmes fight, which he lost. A lot of fights that he was underdogs in, he didn't win. You know, Liston 2, he was an underdog. The Berbick fight, he was an underdog. There's been fights when he's been favorites and he's lost. The Spinks fight, the first Norton fight. So everything didn't go well for Ali all the time. You know, and even though he is my favorite fighter, you know, I'm going to keep it real about it. Everything didn't go well at the time, you know. But when he lost to Frazier, you know, Ali was trying to do history, man. He was trying to commit history. He was trying to do something that had only been done once before by Floyd Patterson, and that's regain the heavyweight title. We know guys like Jeffries and Dempsey and Fitzsimmons and Corbett, all those guys had failed at trying to recapture the crown. And Ali failed at first until he finally made it and he beat George Foreman. But another part of this gentleman's video on YouTube that I seen is he started to go into, you know, well, nobody said nothing to Ali. You know, everybody's doing that now, man. Nobody said nothing to Pacquiao. Whenever you bring up Mayweather, it's always, well, nobody said nothing when Pacquiao did this, or when Mayweather, or when Ali did this, or when Ray Leonard did this. So he went on to say that, you know, well, nobody said nothing about Ali when he didn't fight guys that knew how to box. Then I said, damn, for real? Like, does this dude not know? I mean, he seems like a knowledgeable guy, but does he not know that Ali fought Jimmy Young and Jimmy Ellis and Bob Foster? And I'm just bringing those three guys to the forefront because they just come to my mind quickly. Jimmy Young was a top contender in the 70s, man. He was one of the best contenders in the 70s. He knew how to box. He wasn't a come forward brawler type. For those of you who don't know who Jimmy Young is, you're going to look him up. You're going to see 34-19 as his record. You're going to say, oh, this dude's trash. You're just trying to hype up some bum that's on Ali's resume. He beat Foreman. In 1977, he beat Ron Lyle in 76. He beat Ernie Shavers in 74. He had a close split decision loss to Ken Norton. Then he went on further in his career when he was way past his prime. Way past his prime, Jimmy Young was, when he lost to Tony Tubbs and Tony Tucker, and he fought Greg Page in a close fight. He lost all those by decision. And people think Jimmy Young actually beat Ali. The day he fought Ali, Norton was ringside. He had to fight even. The New York Times did an article on the fight. They thought Jimmy Young won the fight. Young was a boxer, man. He wasn't a Joe Frazier, George Foreman type. He was a boxer with a good resume from the 70s. You beat Shavers, Lyle, and Foreman and have a debatable with Ali that people think you won, and then a split decision with Norton. That's pretty damn good for the 70s, especially the mid to late 70s. Then you have Jimmy Ellis. Ali beat Jimmy Ellis. Jimmy Ellis, when Ali went to prison in 67, he had to vacate the WBA title, so then they had an eliminator for it. They picked the top 8 guys. Frazier was going to compete in it, but he decided not to, and he decided to fight for the New York State Athletic Commission heavyweight title. He fought Buster Mathis. Some of you may know Buster Mathis Jr., who fought Mike Tyson on free TV on Fox. What was that, 95 or 96 when Tyson fought Mathis? But his father was a damn good fighter, damn good amateur, really good amateur fighter. And Buster Mathis was really good. I remember reading about him in the Joe Frazier autobiography, and he was saying how tough Buster Mathis was, but he just couldn't keep his weight down. And his confidence sometimes would be on the fence, but that was a good fight for Frazier. But Jimmy Ellis did something that Berto's never done. What Jimmy Ellis did in 1976 and 68, man. Yeah, 67 and 68, when he competed in that WBA eliminator that had Patterson and Quarry and Bonavina and Leotis Martin. Y'all remember Leotis Martin for knocking out Sonny Liston. Some people don't think that was a legit knockout, but I thought it was legit. He cracked Sonny hard as hell, put him face first, but he was in it. Ernie Terrell was in it. Carl Mildenberger was in it. So it was the top 8 guys, just minus Frazier, and then Ali was locked up. So that would be equivalent to, let's say Berto participated in a tournament and you took Mayweather out and you even took Pacquiao out. So then you would have Bradley, Brook, let's say Khan, Thurman, Porter, Maidana, and if you want to throw in Danny Garcia or Errol Spence or Saddam Ali. Do you think Berto will win that field? Do you think Berto will win that field? And don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Jimmy Ellis was an underdog throughout the whole tournament, and he won it. He beat Corey in the finals. Berto has never done anything like that. I know you guys, I already know. Berto's a 2-time world champion. He is. That is a fact. He won the vacant WBC crown, and he won the IBF crown against John Zavik. That was a good win. The Zavik win was a legit, it was a decent win. But Miguel Rodriguez for the vacant 147-pound title, you really look at that like that was something great? That wasn't really a great win to me. So, yeah, he's a 2-time world titleist. And then Rodriguez, after the Berto fight, he fought one more time and he lost the decision and he retired. Never heard from him after that. Before the Berto fight, he fought a guy named Jerome Ellis, who was 11-6. Before that, he fought a guy named James Webb, who was 19-1. This is only 2006, 2007. Before that fight, he fought a guy named Francisco Villanueva, who was 3-3. The fight before that, he fought Carlos Baldomir, and he lost a close fight in a title eliminator. So he lost his eliminator fight. Then he fought 3 guys I've never heard of, and he gets to fight Berto for a vacant title. And people were acting like Berto just, he really beat a guy that was a legit 147-pound beast at the time. No, man, he didn't. He beat Miguel Rodriguez. Let's keep things in perspective. Jimmy Ellis went out and won the tournament. Berto has never done nothing like that. And some of you guys may say, well, Frazier and Ali wasn't in it. Well, Ali was in jail and Frazier just elected not to fight in it. But still, with the field that was left, That was he was an underdog in all of, go look it up. Jimmy Ellis was still an underdog in every fight in the tournament. I've never seen Berto accomplish anything like that. Another guy that you overlooked is Bob Foster. Yes, I know he was more known as a light heavyweight, one of the best light heavyweights ever, one of the pound for pound best punchers ever at any weight. And Bob Foster had 8 losses on his record. He would get a lot of those losses when he would try to go up to heavyweight because he was a great light heavyweight. Knocked out Dick Tiger, and then he had the title from 68 to 74. He was lineal, WBC and WBA. He had a span of 32 fights in his career where he went 30-2. And his 2 losses were to Frazier and Ali. Yes, he lost to Ernie Terrell, who was a future champion. And he lost to Zora Foley, who was a good contender, and Doug Jones, who was a decent contender. People thought was a really good contender back in the day. Oh, that's what I was going to say. People thought that Ali lost to Doug Jones. Bob Foster wasn't a come forward, slow, plodding. He wasn't that. He had high knockout percentage because, like I said, man, he is a crazy hard puncher at light heavyweight. But he will go up to heavyweight because he wanted to test his skills and he wanted that heavyweight money. Just like the guy I brung up earlier. Leotis Martin was the same way. He was a light heavyweight and he moved up. He went on an 8-fight win streak before he went into that WBA tournament. Ali was a damn light heavyweight in the Olympics and he moved up and fought at heavyweight. Only thing I'm saying is, man, Bob Foster, Jimmy Young, Jimmy Ellis, those guys are good fighters, man. Bob Foster's a great fighter. And Foster were going to the ring 46 pounds lighter than his opponent. 40 pounds, 29 pounds, 39 pounds. He would beat some heavyweights. He just couldn't beat the creme de la creme. He just couldn't beat the Frazier and Ali. And he just couldn't beat the top guys. But he can beat some of those guys that the top guys were beating. He can beat those guys. He just couldn't beat the top guys. I give Ali credit for the Foster win. What I'm saying is Ali fought more than just the Fraziers and Foremans, the come forward slugger type guys. He did fight other guys that can box. It's just you guys don't give credit to guys like Jimmy Young and Jimmy Ellis and Bob Foster. And it's because you can't put a tag next to their name, 3-time, weight division champion, like how, so pretty much Andre Berto's a greater fighter. If you go by that, 3 weight classes and 2-time, he's a better fighter than Bob Foster then, right? Adrian Bronner is a better fighter than Jimmy Young. I don't think he was. I don't give a damn if he did win 3 times or 3 weight divisions. He didn't do anything that was more impressive than what Jimmy Young did or what Jimmy Ellis did or Bob Foster did. I'm not trying to take away from Mayweather his accomplishments, but I can't, as a fan of just Ali and a fan of the sport, when I hear a great fighter's resume is being attacked, and I see that you're just overlooking his resume, man. You're just going right to Foreman, Frazier, and Liston, and then you're downgrading those wins. How can you downgrade a win on somebody that was a 7-1 underdog going into the fight? A 7-1 underdog going into the fight. I've never seen Mayweather 7 or 8-1 underdog. And some of you may say, well, hey, man, it's not his fault. He's that good. Hey, there may be some truth to that. But you can find you a fight out there where you'll be an underdog. Go find one. Ellis wasn't a brawler. There was a Sports Illustrated article where they said that the Ellis and Corey WBA final for the title, it was a tactical masterpiece by Ellis. I don't know, man. I can go on and on with this. Then, Ali lost to Spinks. Yeah, he lost to Spinks, and that was an embarrassing loss. But if you really look at it, the Spinks family is just really good fighters in that family, man. Corey Spinks was, in 2003, he was the undisputed welterweight champion. Michael Spinks beat Larry Holmes. And Leon Spinks beat Ali. That just, their family's unique. Now, with that said, it is an ugly loss. A guy that only had 7 professional fights. I mean, at least Spinks was a damn gold medalist. He fought at light heavyweight just like Ali did in the Olympics, and he won it. He was his amateur record was 178 wins, 7 losses with 133 knockouts. I know it's amateur, but Leon Spinks just wasn't some scrub. His career didn't expand, didn't go as far as it could because alcohol and drugs. And we know that. And you have to count that in, man. So we never know how good of a fighter Leon Spinks could have been. But I'm not going to sit here and act like that loss wasn't an ugly loss. And they were trying to get Ali in there with, you know, they got him in there with Spinks. There was another amateur guy that some of you may not know that they were trying to get him in there with. Teofilo Stevenson, they were trying to get him in there with him. He won the Olympics in 72, 76, and 80. If they would have had Stevenson fight Ali in 76, 75, I'd pick Ali. But if Stevenson fought Ali in 78, 79, as much as I like Ali, Stevenson probably beats him in 78, 79. He might. I'm not sure. But hey, man, you're going to lose some, you're going to win some. That's why I like Ali. You're going to lose some, you're going to win some. But you got to keep getting back up. Keep fighting, man. You may be an underdog. You may be favorite. You got to keep fighting. That's what I like, man. So for those of you that are crazy, he's, you know, 48-0, 40. Okay, that's cool. That's fine. I'm not trying to change your mind. I'm just trying to give you a different perspective of some of Ali's opponents. You can't just gloss over Young and Ellis and Foster and other fighters. You just can't. YTBC, I'm out.